What's up, guys? This is Ashton with MuseThemes.com, and today we're going to take a look at our Instagram feed widget. Now, what this widget allows you to do is embed an Instagram feed directly onto your Muse website. And as you can see here, if you hover over an image, you get this clickable icon that enlarges the image in this really cool lightbox. You can also alternate from image to image within the lightbox using these arrows. You'll also notice that some of these images have captions on the bottom, which you can enable and customize within the widget settings. So it's a really cool widget, it's very customizable, and of course is responsive and functions great in any fixed or fluid width website. There's also a Load More button here on the bottom, which can be applied as default or built from scratch in Muse and linked with a graphic style. So let's hop into Muse and we'll take a look at how we get this set up. First thing we gotta do is drag the widget out onto the page. And you'll notice that it comes with these two different components, which are both very important and have a lot of different customization inside, and so we're gonna run through it very quickly. The first thing you do need to do is acquire an access token for your Instagram site. Instagram made some changes to their API a while back, so there's a very unique way that this has to be set up. So right here where it says Access Token Generator Link, you can actually click this, and it will take you to a page on Pixel Union where you can generate your access token. So all you have to do is follow the prompts here. You'll type in your username and password for your Instagram account. And it's going to generate this access token for you right here. So all you need to do is select and copy this entire thing. Hop back into Muse. You can paste it right in there. Now the user ID is going to be the same numbers here in the access token, all the numbers right up till the first period. So all you have to do is select this first batch of numbers before the first period, copy that, and then you can paste it right into the user ID. So just from there, if we preview this in the browser, and you'll see our Instagram feed displayed here already with our lightbox and captions already enabled. So let's take a quick run through some of these customizable options here. The two components, this one down here is going to be your lightbox options. That's going to be everything included inside of your lightbox as well as your captions. We'll come back to this in just a moment. Inside your main gallery here, this is where you're going to control the thumbnail settings as well as your Load More button. Now, as a default, I like to use this as stretch to browser width. That way, instead of having it be a set column or a responsive width, it'll actually fill the entire width of the browser. So just by making that change, if we do a quick browser preview, you'll see it drastically changes the look of our gallery, but it is responsive and fills the entire width of the browser, even as you shrink down. So let's hop back into Muse and take a look at some more of these customizable options. Number of thumbnails here, you can decide how many thumbnails are visible when the page is initially loaded before hitting Load More. Thumbnail width and height, of course, is set with pixel numbers. Overlay color, I'm going to change this to something, maybe a lighter blue. Overlay opacity, this is going to be how much the image is covered when the mouse is rolled over it. So this is right now set to 0.8, which is 80%. You could lower this if you want the image a little more visible, or raise it all the way to 1 for 100% if you don't want to see it at all. I'll go ahead and make it at 0.5. Thumbnail padding will add some space in between your thumbnails, which is pretty cool in the browser. If you don't want all the thumbnails to be butted up against each other, you can, of course, change that here. Font family, I've changed this to Open Sans, but you can enter anything, Arial, any kind of Montserrat, whatever font you want the font to be in, and of course the size and the font color. The view icon size, this is the size of the icon that will show up when you're rolling your mouse over the image to click to enlarge, so you can change the size of that and of course the color here. Now for our Load More button. This gives you the option to enable it or disable it if you want it or don't want it on your page. We have two options here for the Load More button. You can keep it at default, which you'll see on our live preview, or if you want to build one from scratch, you can select Custom. And of course, when you do that, all these options are grayed out. We'll come back to this in a moment, but if you're going to remain it on default, you can customize it here. Button background color, as well as the hover color and font color. You can change your font here, which I will keep consistent with Open Sans. Button font size as well as the width, and then the message if whatever text you want to display inside the button. Now that's for the default. If you want to create a custom button, like I said, all these options are grayed out. I'm going to go ahead and grab, for the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to grab a state button. And you're welcome to style this up however you want. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a fill, maybe some curve, and a text box. So what we have to do is assign a graphic style to the state button. So with the button selected, you're going to go to this graphic style menus here. Select this for a new style. We can double click and name it whatever we want. Let's say Instagram 1. And this is what you'll enter in for your button style name. It's good practice to make sure you don't use any spaces or any capital letters inside your graphic style name. Sometimes it can throw off the browser. So just now with those changes made, let's go ahead and preview our page. And you can see the changes that we made have taken effect. Our overlay color, we got this nice padding going on. It's set to full width still. And our check it out button set with our graphic style is now linked to the load more. So you click that, and of course it'll just load more images as you click. So now let's take a look at some of these lightbox options in this smaller component here. Lightbox border color. The one you just saw in our browser preview was white, but if you want something dark to fit maybe the darker tones of your site, we could go like a dark blue, or hey, we'll even go black for this. The border width, you can see in our current example, we have this nice, relatively thick border, but we could of course customize that to something bigger or smaller. I'm going to go ahead and lower this to maybe 7. You can change the effect of the open and close action of the lightbox, which I'm just going to go with a fade for now. Open and close speed. Now right now the way we have it set has this kind of smooth, fluid, kind of slower action. I'm going to go ahead and speed that up. So we're going to go and type 200 instead of 4. Now for the buttons inside of the lightbox, you can change the size, color, and background color here as well. The opacity of the navigation buttons, this will be for your arrows if you want them to be fully in frame or kind of just half opacity. Right now it's set to 0.7. I'm going to drop this down to 0.5. Caption font. Now these will be the captions that appear below the image if you have them enabled. I'm going to go ahead and change this to Open Sans. Caption font size, font color, and of course the background color as well. I'm going to keep this consistent with our black border and brighten up the font color so we can see that a little better. Now here you have the option to enable and disable some different elements. We have a close button, which I'm going to keep. Autoplay slideshow, if you want the images to keep sliding automatically once you open the lightbox, you can do that here. The navigation buttons, the arrows, I'd like to have. And the show caption and timestamp, this is where you can enable or disable that. So with those settings changed, let's check out our page in a browser. And now in the lightbox, you can see that our changes have taken effect. We have a much slimmer, darker background now with the white text and font that we've set. Our arrows, navigation buttons are at our altered opacity, as well as our close button. So that is our Instagram feed widget. It's a really powerful widget, a lot of customization options. We hope you play around with it. We hope you enjoy it. Of course, if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to let us know. Have a great day.